Okay, we've always got to wait for the nod.
That's it, that's
Hello and welcome back to the channel, where this week, as we alluded to last week, we made it big time and have our first guest on the channel. So we have William Pink here from Novol UK, who's here to discuss primarily epoxy primers. So hello, Will, and thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me down. Yeah, so today's the idea is we're going to talk about the new hybrid epoxy range of primers, the benefit of epoxy primer, and yeah, we'll go through it.
Good stuff. And this is where we cut and edit. We've obviously been using the Novol product for quite some time now, and when we started, we had the beige Novol epoxy primer, which
Correct,
is a
yes.
superb product. We still use it, really versatile product. But things have moved on, and I mean, this is a base coat primer.
Exactly.
You can't do anything. It's a foundation block, and you go from there. But earlier this year, you guys brought out the hybrid epoxy, which we've now been using.
Yes, we did. So the original range, also known as the old timer range, started with the epoxy primer. In the old timer range, we did have a lot of acrylic primers, so acrylic high build primer, polyester, which we do still have, which we'll discuss when we talk about the hybrid range. So yeah, this was the only epoxy primer within the old timer range, but now we've moved over to hybrid epoxy. Every single stage of the primer process is epoxy based, which is the benefit of it.
So what is the benefit then of using epoxy over the standard primers, which would be in acrylic?
Yeah.
Why would we now be using or pushing harder to use the epoxy primers within the classic car market?
Yeah, so epoxy is the way to go forward, mainly for classic restoration and restoration. So the idea of epoxy, there's a lot more benefits of it to acrylic. Acrylic's still great, don't get me wrong.
We still use the acrylic now, you know, if a small repair comes in, or even a modern vehicle, we'd use the acrylic with that. Not everything's going to be epoxy. No. But epoxy is,
exactly,
with the older stuff, which is predominantly what we do, obviously we have the benefits of the epoxy. Yeah,
so epoxy, the great thing about epoxy is it's designed for longevity, long lasting. It's waterproof, or at least a lot more waterproof than an acrylic primer.
But it hermetically bonds, isn't it? It hermetically seals onto
exactly that. Exactly that.
And doesn't absorb moisture.
No, exactly. Acrylic primers are known for absorbing moisture. They're very porous. So when you are putting it direct to metal, you know, your metal is also very porous, and that can cause, you know, adhesion issues down the line, a lot of other problems too.
Which obviously in the short term, I mean, that's not the end of the world, because a small repair is a short-term repair.
Yes, exactly that.
Turnaround time of a couple of days. You're not going to cause a lot of damage.
No.
You're not going to cause any damage in a couple of days. But obviously restoration work, it could sit out in the workshop for a month having levelling work done, and that's when it's all going to suck it up.
Yeah. As we say, acrylic primers are still great to use, but the future is within epoxy for sure.
There's that, you know, let's turn our phones off before we
I
get
know.
going. You've not done it, and I've not done it. So
I've got 3 phones at the moment, so that didn't really go to plan, did it?
When does it? But you know, it's all part of the content. This could be a time lapse moment while Will empties out all of his pockets and turns them all off.
Sorry, everyone. So busy. Cool.
But okay, so we've got here, I mean, the old school epoxy primer.
Yes.
Old school, new technology primer. Yeah. With a standalone product. But with the hybrid epoxy, we have this one core material.
Exactly that.
But it has 3 different purposes. Yes. And therefore 3 different activators.
Exactly that, yeah. So with the hybrid epoxy, you get 1 tin of hybrid epoxy primer with 3 different hardeners. You've got the anti-corrosive hardener, the isolator, and the filler hardener,
So the anti-corrosion activator is kind of taking over the job of the original beige epoxy.
Correct, yes.
In terms of the scheme. So when a car's down to bare metal, instead of going in with the beige epoxy, we'd be using the anti-corrosion.
Correct, yes. Direct your metal. This is where you do all your filler repairs on top of. The original epoxy is still available to purchase purely because it's good for like glass fiber shells and things like that.
it's got great build.
Yes.
Really good build.
Yeah.
And being an epoxy, it's nice and it's hard.
Exactly.
It's really
that,
hard.
yeah.
So we use that on the Lotus. If you look back through, we did the Lotus video. Any fiberglass stuff we do generally with bare fiberglass,
Yeah.
we'd still use the old stuff.
Yeah, perfect.
It's a really versatile product.
Exactly that, yeah.
But in terms of the steel stuff, we now use the hybrid.
Yes.
It's got less build.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not meant to have a build.
Yeah.
That's what your polyester stages and so on are for, which
Exactly that.
we discussed. But
the original epoxy as well won't adhere to galvanized steel, which is quite a key point. The new hybrid epoxy is designed for steel and galvanized steel, which is a benefit of it as well.
So by sort of the mid to late 80s, a lot of cars were going into galvanized.
Yeah.
So
hence why it's called now the Youngtimer range.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yes. As time marches on, classic cars are getting newer and newer.
That's it.
We've also got here the isolator activator. Now this activates in a wet on wet basis, doesn't it?
Yes.
So for any rub throughs,
Exactly.
burn throughs, or anything like that. Or I mean, I guess you could use that in a repair situation.
Yeah, you could. It's maybe more as like an intermediate primer, so you haven't got quite as much build. Yeah, that's you can use it for that for sure. Yeah.
And I think the real game changer really with this new hybrid system is our third and final activator here, which is a hybrid filler.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's got a high build epoxy primer.
Exactly that,
coat.
Yeah.
Now, up until very recently, you wouldn't use an epoxy primer as your top coat primer. That was always a foundation level.
Of course, yeah.
So I know we're the first to be doing this.
I can't say on camera if we're the first, but I know it's not that common. So, yeah, as Keith was saying, you know, this is great because you can use an epoxy as a top coat, a surfacer to paint on top of, which is obviously a really key important part about the epoxy. As for the isolator version, yeah, as we were saying, it's brilliant for spot repairs on any breakthroughs, bits like that, which is also very important that if you're going over it with your polyester, that's something we'll cover.
Yeah.
You know, once you put your anti-corrosion down and then you're doing your filler repairs, there's a chance you can have a lot of bare metal breakthroughs, and that's where the isolator comes into play.
Well, we were chatting before this that we're kind of ill-prepared, which is not like us at all. You know?
No, it's not. Is it?
To have something in the booth that we could be applying. So this is boring, just chit-chat video. There's not much live action, but we do have some footage of previous works we've done, which we'll overlay with this. Just highlighting that point actually with the breakthroughs, I think it was a BMW that we did, which we filmed the whole thing on that. After we'd done the anti-corrosion, did the filler work, loads of breakthroughs on that, which you're going to get. So into the booth, and we did the wet on wet isolator ahead of doing the polyester stage, because that just again seals any bare metal areas.
Exactly that. Yep.
And I suppose one of the great key points with this is when we go with the anti-corrosion, so onto the bare metal. It's olive green. The paintwork's olive green. Yes.
Which some people are surprised about when they mix it up.
Oh, some people have asked, can we just clear coat it? It's quite a nice colour.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But the isolator and the filler are standard sort of P3 mid-range greys. So you've got the great contrast.
Exactly that. Yeah, a lot of people with the old-timer range were asking for that contrast. You know, once you do your filler repairs and you're blocking, you can't really differentiate between, you know, where is your epoxy and where isn't your epoxy. So I think the idea of going olive green was for that contrast when you're doing your repairs, and it is quite nice to have that contrast.
It's like a layer identifier, I guess. I suppose it's not some black magic wizardry that's creating something better.
That's it.
It is an identifier.
That's it, yeah.
So,
I'd like to as well stress the importance of data sheets. I know we were going to cover that anyway. My job is to offer technical advice on these products, of course, and I'm happy to help anyone. But yeah,
you weren't stressing that to me directly, right?
No. 99% of the information you need will be on a data sheet. Obviously, of course, there's some cases where it might be a question you don't have the answer to on a data sheet, but I mean, you know, I'm sure
they're instructions, aren't they? They're not guidelines, they are instructions. We actually had a friend in yesterday, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And he actually came up with a good analogy with your pizza, your frozen pizza. It says on the back of the box, bake for 12 minutes. You bake it for 12 minutes.
Very true, yeah.
Less than that, you're going to get a real sloppy mess, you know? So
that's it, yeah.
No, the technical data sheets really are, you know, paint isn't just paint. And this, you know, there's some fantastic guys out in Poland that have studied a long time to come up with this. And the technical data sheets are there.
Absolutely.
So that their product works. And it works.
Yeah.
But you've got to follow that technical data sheet.
Exactly, yeah. You're right. They spend a lot of time and money developing these products, and making data sheets alongside the product. So they're easy to find. If you go online and just type in the product name and TDS, they will pop up. So yeah, definitely data sheets.
And they're easy to follow, and it's not just a case of getting the bake times right, it's all the flash off times in between, because the chemicals need to activate.
Exactly, yeah.
They need to deactivate as well.
Exactly,
so,
yeah. No, absolutely, you're dead right.
Yeah, really important to follow on.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, yeah, we've got the epoxy range here that you can see. We do also offer a few other products within our classic car range. We can stand here and talk for hours about it, but we do have an online website. If you just go on Google and type in Novol For Classic Cars, it's got a full product range on there of products that we offer, from cavity wax right through to seam sealer, lacquer. So there is a full comprehensive range from start to finish that you can take a look at.
It is amazing how vast the range is. And it wasn't until we went out into Poland, obviously, recently to the factory, and it drives home just how vast the range now is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throughout the whole of Novol. I mean, obviously, we're just talking about classic car here right now. But yeah, it's amazing the range is.
Absolutely, yeah. No, for sure. And like you say, we have something for everything within the range, which is obviously really great for classic renovation. Yeah.
There we go. I mean, do you want to talk polyesters?
We can if you want to. We don't have to. You guys want to hear it? I don't know.
Tune in next week.
It's not. Yeah. It's not massively important. I know we was going to focus purely on epoxy.
But just working in, I guess, with the isolator in between, we've discussed that the original epoxy has a great deal of build.
Yes, I think maybe with the isolator, people will wonder why it's there, like you asked earlier. So it's probably quite important to. We kind of covered that anyway. Maybe lacquer as well, we could possibly talk about, because obviously we still sell the original CSR from the old-time range, which can be mixed in MS or HS.
MS being medium solid, HS being high solid, which is just the density of the material you're laying out.
Yeah. I think
which obviously has its drawbacks.
Yeah, of course.
And its positives, you know. A medium solid, I find, would always lay better.
Yes.
High solid, you've got a thicker material on there.
Exactly that, yeah. I think medium solids are a bit of a thing of the past. So, yeah, but they work really well. There's a lot of thinners to them, a lot of high VOC content, so flash-off times are longer. It is a longer process, but, you know, I personally believe
the results are worth it.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got a job in for X amount of months,
what's an extra hour?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that.
So yeah, and now you've obviously got the premium flow product as well,
correct?
Which is taking CSR to the next level.
Exactly that. Yeah. No, that's a really great lacquer.
Ultra high solid, I seem to recall.
Yeah, it's a VHS. Yeah, ultra high solid.
Very high solid.
That's it. Yeah. It's. I would say it's sort of 50-50 in terms of what people are using from it. People really love the old CSR. It's just a slightly longer process.
I know we've only been with Novol for 4 years now, but within those 4 years context, I'm old school. I still like the CSR.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
But hey, we've got to change with the times, I guess.
Exactly that. Yes.
As we have done with the hybrid epoxy, which it really is a fantastic system.
Yeah.
And
it works well. It does work well, and there's a reason why everything's going epoxy. For even sort of self-etching, that's quite a nice property. Acrylic primers, a lot of our acrylic primers will say on the data sheet you can go direct to metal, which is fine. I still would recommend an epoxy on your bed still if you can, purely for sort of longevity, and as we kind of discussed, you can have potential issues with adhesion, things like that.
Thing is, when you're getting into the restoration, it is a different. We've touched on this again with other videos. It is a totally different ballpark to a standard body shop. And that's not knocking a standard body shop in any way, shape or form. They're just two entirely different beasts.
Correct. And
if you're spending considerable sums of money on your treasured classic car, you want it to stay that way.
Exactly that, yeah. Yeah, these products aren't necessarily designed for speed as such, or sort of your day-to-day repairs and jobs. These go on customers' cars that are willing to spend the money on their pride and joy, I suppose.
And I would say, I mean, various health and safety aspects aside, the product isn't designed for the DIYer. We have had a few questions come in. Do you have to bake the product? Yeah, you do. Yeah. Again, referring back to the TDS, these are chemicals. Forget, yes, they're paints, but they are chemicals, and they need to be treated as such.
Exactly that.
They won't work as effectively or as they're designed to work if you skip any part of that process.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, a lot of people tend to look at a data sheet and sort of cut corners, and that will show in the
Well, I've been
final
painting
result.
for 30 years. I know how to put that on.
That's it, yeah.
And it is a different system.
Yes.
It's not black magic.
No.
You just need to read the instructions
Exactly that.
rather than take them as helpful guidelines, because they are instructions for use.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I think we've covered more than we intended to cover.
Yeah, of course.
And I say, hopefully, when we come back to editing this, we'll overlay some pictures of something happening rather than us two,
of course,
trying to fend off our ringing telephones.
That's it. Yeah. I think if anyone's got any questions as well, it'd be a good idea to leave some questions, and I'm more than happy to help answer some questions. And
I'll pass them all on to you, mate.
Getting you a load of work here, aren't I?
I'm going to pass you a load of work. I think you'll find.
That's
so,
it, yeah.
Well, thank you again, mate.
No
coming
problem
down for your time.
Thanks for
really
inviting
good
me.
to see you. And
problem.
get those questions coming in, and I'll pass them straight on to Will.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you very much.
Next week we have got. I think next week we've got a bit more. We've got a Mercedes. I think we're doing next week. I think. So thanks for watching. Please hit subscribe, and we'll be along again with more videos this time next week.